Good morning, children.
Morning, ma'am.
Hope you have understood what we learned about glycolysis and fermentation yesterday. So, as we had already discussed, glycolysis consists of 10 steps. So, 10 reactions are involved. And how do you define glycolysis? Malavika, what do you mean by glycolysis?
The partial breakdown of glucose to pyruvic acid.
To pyruvic acid. Okay. So I told you there are different steps involved, and one by one you can tell me the different steps involved. We'll start with Michael. Michael, what is the first step?
Glucose is converted to glucose 6-phosphate with the help of an enzyme called
With H.
hexokinase.
Nandana, next step.
Glucose 6-phosphate is isomerized into fructose 6-phosphate.
You have learned about isomers. No, you know what are isomers. They'll be having isomers means they'll be having chemical composition but different structure and configuration. Okay. Now, with the next step. And if some ATP molecules or water molecules or something is being produced or used up, you should tell that in the first step, one molecule of ATP was used up. Then, Vidar, next point.
Fructose 6-phosphate is converted into fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, which will split into.
Enough. It will be converted into fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Any molecules utilized or breaking down during this process, fructose 6-phosphate to fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Which molecule, Vidur? I'm asking you, which molecule is used?
ATP.
One molecule of ATP is getting used up. Children, it is not by mistake they have written bisphosphate instead of bi. Both are two different types of molecules. Bisphosphate. Bis is a Latin prefix, which means two phosphate groups are attached at different position. Sometimes, like in diphosphate and all, both the phosphate groups can be attached together to the same atom. But here, as you can see, 1,6, they have given the position. And they are attached, these two phosphate groups are attached to different carbon atoms. Different atoms. That is why position, it is not attached to, two phosphate groups are not attached to the same atom, but attached to different atoms. That is why that position is shown 1,6 or 1,3. Next, now read what is next.
Fructose 1,6-bisphosphate splits into dihydroxyacetone phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate.
Okay. Then what happens? Malavika?
Dihydroxyacetone phosphate is converted to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate.
Very
So
good.
2 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is formed.
Okay. Then Gayatri?
Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid with the help of which you utilize NADP into NADPH plus H. NADH2.
They'll become NADH2. NAD will become NADH2. Punya, what is the next step?
This phosphoglyceric acid forms 3-phosphoglyceric acid, releasing 1 ATP molecule.
So one phosphate group is removed, that is utilized for making one ATP molecule. Then what is next step, Rijas? So up to 3-phosphoglyceric acid we have reached. What is next?
3-phosphoglyceric acid converts to 2-phosphoglyceric acid.
Okay, next step, Anna. Sorry, Evelyn.
Ma'am, 2-phosphoglyceric acid will be converted to PEP.
What is PEP?
Phosphoenol pyruvate.
Then, any speciality in this particular stage? It will release one molecule of
ATP.
One molecule
of water.
Produced. Then Donna, what is next? Donna, Anna.
Then the PEP is converted to 2-pyruvic acid. 3 of 2-pyruvic acid.
Okay, two molecules of PEP will get converted to two molecules of pyruvic acid. So as a result of glycolysis, two molecules of pyruvic acid are produced. When each glucose molecule enters into glycolytic cycle, it will produce two molecules of pyruvic acid. What is the net gain of energy? Meenakshi, you have to explain how this, whatever you say, the answer you say, you have to justify, you have to explain and tell me. What is the net gain? How many ATP molecules will be produced as a result of glycolysis? I showed with the help of a equation like how many ATPs. Now, from this glycolytic cycle itself, you might have understood how many ATP molecules are being used, how many are synthesized, and what is the net gain. And is there any other molecule leading to the production of ATP molecules? Meenakshi, you know the answer? Yes or no?
4 ATP molecules are synthesized into
ATP molecules will be synthesized. Then
2 are used up.
2 are used up. So balance 4 produced, 2 used up. So what is balance? 4 minus 2? 2 ATP. Then is ATP molecule being produced by some other method? Means some other molecule is resulting, or the production of certain other molecule is resulting in the release of ATP. How many NADH molecules are being synthesized? How many NADH? Nevin, how many NADH molecules synthesized? Don't know. Don't revise also. Steffi, how many NADH molecules are being synthesized as a result of? Did you go through what was taken yesterday? Who can tell me?
No, ma'am.
How many NADH molecules are being produced?
2.
2. For each NADH, how many ATP can be synthesized? For every NADH, how many ATP molecules will be synthesized?
3 ATP.
So 2 NADH molecules. So 2 into 3, 6. So 6 ATP molecules. So already when Meenakshi said, she said the net gain of ATP molecules, like when we balance the one produced and the one used up, you get 2. 2 plus 6, we get 8. 8 molecules of ATP are produced. So the net gain of energy by means of glycolysis is 8 ATP molecules. Net gain is 8 ATP molecules. Okay, and this pyruvic acid molecule produced as a result of glycolysis, they can enter 3 pathways. Which are the 3 pathways we mentioned? Naureen, I told these pyruvic acid molecules can enter into 3 of the pathways. Which are those?
Lactic acid fermentation, alcohol fermentation, and aerobic respiration.
What?
Aerobic respiration.
Respiration and alcoholic fermentation. Lactic acid fermentation, alcoholic fermentation, and aerobic respiration. Where do you find lactic acid fermentation? Anybody? Where do you find lactic acid fermentation? We saw the examples also. Punya, can you tell me where do you find lactic acid fermentation?
Prokaryotes,
In certain
unicellular eukaryotes, and muscles of animals.
cells. So in the muscle cells of human beings, animals you can find, then bacteria, and whereas lactic acid fermentation, alcoholic fermentation, one typical example is yeast cells. Okay, let us continue, and you will be learning about aerobic respiration today. So the pyruvic acid molecules which are produced as a result of glycolysis, they can either enter into anaerobic fermentation, or fermentation which is taking place in the absence of oxygen, and 2 options I said, or else they will enter into aerobic respiration. And let's see more about aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration is a process which leads to the complete oxidation of organic substances in presence of oxygen and releases carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Okay. Aerobic respiration is the process of complete oxidation. Here the organic substances means mainly glucose molecule in presence of oxygen and releases carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Once again, aerobic respiration is the process that leads to complete oxidation of organic substances in the presence of oxygen and releases carbon dioxide, water, and a large amount of energy present in the substrate. The substrate here means the molecule which is undergoing oxidation. The substrate means this organic molecule. So the energy present in that also will be released, or you can simplify and say it is a process by which complete oxidation of the organic substances takes place in presence of oxygen, releasing carbon dioxide, water, and energy. And as I have already told you, aerobic respiration is taking place in the mitochondria. You can see the picture of mitochondria over there, whereas anaerobic respiration will be taking place in the cytoplasm. This type of respiration is the most common in higher organism. So this one is commonly found in higher organisms. Pyruvate, same as pyruvic acid, which is the final product of glycolysis. You know, as a result of glycolysis, the products we get are two molecules of pyruvic acid. So these pyruvic acid molecules, where are they produced? You know, glycolysis is taking place in the cytoplasm. So pyruvic acid molecules will be formed in the cytoplasm. But the next stage, if these pyruvic acid molecules are entering into aerobic respiration from the cytoplasm, they should be transferred into mitochondria. So they'll be transferred from the cytoplasm into the mitochondria, and the site of aerobic respiration, as I told you, the site of aerobic respiration is mitochondria. So which is the final product of glycolysis? Pyruvate. Where is it formed? It is formed in the cytoplasm. So why it should be transferred to or transported to mitochondria? If pyruvate has to take part or has to continue or get involved in aerobic respiration, then aerobic respiration is taking place in the mitochondria, but pyruvic acid molecules are formed in the cytoplasm, so they get transferred there in order to carry out further steps. Now, important events of aerobic respiration. Now let's see what are the important events. So two main events are there in aerobic respiration. First one, TCA cycle, tricarboxylic acid cycle. It is known by different names: citric acid cycle, tricarboxylic acid cycle. We abbreviate it as TCA cycle or even Krebs cycle. Krebs cycle. See, when there are different names for the pathway, you should be familiar with all the names, because in the question paper they can use any term. Similarly, Embeden-Meyerhof pathway. Okay, sorry, Hatch-Slag pathway. Hatch-Slag pathway or C4 pathway, both names you should know. Then Calvin cycle or C3 pathway. So different names you should be familiar with. Embeden-Meyerhof pathway or EMP pathway is same as glycolysis. So different names are given for a particular cycle. You should be familiar with all the names. So aerobic respiration, it has got two stages: TCA cycle, tricarboxylic acid cycle, or Krebs cycle, or citric acid cycle. It is known in different names, and it takes place in the mitochondrial matrix. Taking place in the matrix. Complete oxidation of pyruvate takes place. So it is in the TCA cycle that the pyruvate molecule is getting completely oxidized by stepwise removal of all the hydrogen atoms, which leaves 3 molecules of carbon dioxide. So in tricarboxylic acid cycle, the pyruvate will enter into this cycle, and then step by step, here also a series of steps are involved, and it takes place in a cyclic manner as the name suggests. And in each step, the hydrogen atoms will be removed. It will be removed gradually, leading to the formation of 3 molecules of carbon dioxide. And the second event taking place in aerobic respiration is electron transport chain. ETS already have learned in photosynthesis also. So in respiration also, electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation takes place. Electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation. Oxidative phosphorylation result in the release of energy in the form of ATP molecules. And this is taking place in the inner membrane of the mitochondria, whereas TCA cycle is taking place in the mitochondrial matrix. Matrix, hope you know, mitochondria is bound by 2 membranes, inner membrane and outer membrane. So within the lumen, there is a matrix present. There is a substance present. You call it as matrix. So there our TCA cycle takes place, whereas in the inner membrane of the mitochondria, oxidative phosphorylation takes place. And what happens during this phase? Electrons are removed as part of the hydrogen atoms. Electrons removed as part of the hydrogen atoms are passed on to molecular oxygen with the simultaneous synthesis of ATP. So accompanied by the, here in the first part I told, hydrogen atoms will be removed and leaving 3 molecules of carbon dioxide. So associated or accompanied with this, along with the movement of hydrogen atoms, electrons are also being removed. So they pass through a chain of electron carriers. These electrons will move through the electron transport chain and they will be finally transferred to molecular oxygen, and at the same time there will be release of energy in the form of ATP molecules. Both these steps you will be learning in detail. So both steps with proper diagrams you're going to learn, but in brief, they have just given it in a nutshell. What are the 2 stages involved in aerobic respiration? One is tricarboxylic acid cycle. Where is it taking place? In the mitochondrial matrix. So what is the major change taking place? Here from the pyruvate molecule, hydrogen atoms will be removed in a stepwise manner, finally resulting in the formation of 3 molecules of carbon dioxide. Whereas in electron transport chain, as the name suggests, electrons will be moving through a series of carriers, and here along with the hydrogen atoms removed, electrons are also being removed and they'll move through the series of carriers, and finally they will be passed on to molecular oxygen. Simultaneously, ATP production also will take place. And as you know, if you compare with aerobic and anaerobic respiration, the amount of energy released or the number of ATP molecules produced is more in the case of aerobic respiration. Okay. Any doubts, anything to be repeated? Please tell me, children. Formation of acetyl coenzyme A. Formation of acetyl coenzyme A. Coenzyme, have you learned in chemistry, children? They are non-protein substances, and their presence, they cannot catalyze a reaction. Hearing the term enzyme, coenzyme, they cannot catalyze any reaction like enzyme, but they will assist. They'll combine with enzyme and helps the enzyme to catalyze the reaction. They will assist the enzyme to catalyze the reaction. They are non-protein compounds, and acetyl coenzyme A is one such coenzyme which will be helping the enzymes in catalyzing their reaction. Even NAD is a coenzyme. NAD, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. NAD is also a coenzyme. Another coenzyme which you need to learn is acetyl coenzyme A. First of all, let us see how acetyl coenzyme is formed. The product of glycolysis, oh my God, I didn't. The product of glycolysis, that is pyruvate, on entering the mitochondrial matrix. Hope you are remembering what I said. It should reach the mitochondrial matrix for further steps to be carried out. It undergoes oxidative decarboxylation. So when this undergoes oxidative decarboxylation, acetyl coenzyme A will be produced. And this coenzyme will enter the Krebs cycle. And this reaction is catalyzed by pyruvate dehydrogenase, and coenzymes like NAD and coenzyme A are needed. As you can see here in the figure, pyruvic acid molecule, that is a product we have got as a result of glycolysis. Now what happens to this pyruvic acid? This pyruvic acid, in presence of the enzyme pyruvate dehydrogenase, and presence of magnesium ions are also essential, and two coenzymes are also needed. So in presence of coenzyme A and NAD and the enzyme pyruvate dehydrogenase, they will get converted to acetyl coenzyme A by oxidative decarboxylation. The carbon dioxide molecule will be released, will be removed from the molecule. It gets decarboxylated. Carbon dioxide molecule will be removed and you get CO2 plus NADH plus H plus. That NAD there will get converted to NADH2. It gets reduced by accepting hydrogen ions. Once again, the first step, once the pyruvic acid molecule has reached the mitochondrial matrix, the first step taking place, its conversion into acetyl coenzyme A. What do you call the process by which it is getting converted to acetyl coenzyme A? Oxidative decarboxylation. The carbon dioxide molecule gets removed from pyruvic acid, and for the reaction to take place, coenzymes are needed, NAD plus and coenzyme A are needed, and the enzyme which catalyzes the reaction is pyruvate dehydrogenase. And as a result of this reaction, we get acetyl coenzyme A. Pyruvic acid has got converted to acetyl coenzyme A, then carbon dioxide, NADH plus H plus. Okay. Now, during this process, two molecules of NADH are produced from the metabolism of two molecules of pyruvic acid. So, what you can see here is the reaction undergone by, or the change undergone by or underwent by this one molecule of pyruvic acid. But you know there are two molecules of pyruvic acid formed. So, you get two molecules of NADH. This is for a single molecule. So everything you can multiply by 2. So 2 molecules of NADH are produced from the metabolism of 2 molecules of pyruvic acid, which are produced from one glucose molecule. Any confusion? One glucose molecule undergoes glycolysis, and you get 2 molecules of pyruvic acid, and from this 2 molecules of pyruvic acid we get 2 molecules of NADH. So what they have given us, 2 molecules of NADH are produced by the metabolic reactions taking place in 2 molecules of pyruvic acid formed from 1 molecule of glucose. No doubt, no? Children, any doubts are there?
Ma'am, can you explain once more?
And the acetyl coenzyme A form will finally enter the Krebs cycle. So once again, I'll tell you. Here what they have mentioned is how acetyl coenzyme A is formed. Acetyl coenzyme A is a molecule which will be entering into the Krebs cycle. So before that, this pyruvate, the products we have got as a result of glycolysis is two molecules of pyruvic acid. Now, this pyruvic acid, upon reaching the mitochondrial matrix, they will get converted to acetyl coenzyme A, and it is this acetyl coenzyme A which will enter into Krebs cycle, the next cycle. Okay, wait, let me change the color of the ink. Pyruvic acid molecule, which is produced as a result of glycolysis, will reach the mitochondrial matrix and they will get converted to acetyl coenzyme A. It is this molecule that will enter into Krebs cycle, the next stage, Krebs cycle. And how is pyruvic acid molecule getting converted to acetyl coenzyme A? By a process known as oxidative decarboxylation, where the carbon dioxide molecules will be removed. And what are the requirements for this oxidative decarboxylation? Presence of coenzymes like coenzyme A and NAD+. Nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide and coenzyme A. These two coenzymes are necessary and the reaction is catalyzed by pyruvate dehydrogenase. And along with acetyl coenzyme A, carbon dioxide molecules and NADH plus H plus are produced. This is for one glucose molecule. One pyruvate molecule. You know, two pyruvate molecules are formed. So we get two molecules of NADH. For one molecule of pyruvic acid, two molecules of NADH. But as a result of glycolysis, we have obtained two molecules of pyruvic acid. Okay? Am I right? Even though one glucose molecule is carrying out or entering into the glycolytic cycle, at the end we get two molecules. So every glucose molecule will release two pyruvic acid molecules at the end of glycolysis. And for every pyruvate, we get one molecule of NADH. For every pyruvate molecule, we get one molecule of NADH. So two pyruvate molecules, so you get two NADH molecules. Is that clear, Nandana?
Yes, ma'am.
See here, the last statement I'll explain once again. During this process, two molecules of NADH are produced by the metabolism of two molecules of pyruvic acid, and these two pyruvic acid molecules are produced from one molecule of glucose. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
And this molecule, that is acetyl coenzyme A, they will enter into the next phase of aerobic respiration. That is, they will enter into Krebs cycle. You call it as Krebs, and it is named after the scientist who elucidated it for the first time. That is Hans Krebs. You call him as Hans Krebs. And see, children, this figure is different from what is given in your textbook. And in your textbook, all these molecules, you can see so many molecules over here. See, oxaloacetate, citric acid, isocitric acid, alpha ketoglutaric acid, succinyl coenzyme A, succinate, fumarate, malate, fumarate, succinate. It is same as, just like pyruvate is same as pyruvic acid, malate is same as malic acid, fumarate, fumaric acid, succinate same as succinic acid. Here so many molecules are given. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But in your textbook, all these molecules are not mentioned. and wherever they have missed out something, because they don't want you to, or they don't feel that all these molecules you should be familiar with. So there you can see in the textbook some dotted lines in the cycle. So that means it is incomplete, something they have missed out, and they have just shown the main steps. All these steps are important. You check your textbook, you will understand. Like isocitric acid is not given, then fumarate, malate, so many compounds, so many molecules are missing there. And wherever it is missing, they have given it as dotted lines. For the exam purpose, you can draw the diagram which is given in your textbook, but while explaining, I will take the help of this diagram. Okay, why I told this beforehand is you should not get confused. Here so many molecules in our textbook, less steps are there. It's not like that. This is the actual Krebs cycle, but in your textbook some they have removed or some they have skipped, because they feel that only that is enough for you to understand at this present situation or the present class. Okay children, so we'll be learning about it in detail in our next period. So next period, we will begin with a recapitulation questions. So whatever was covered now, please do read and come. Okay, I want you to learn along with when I'm discussing, when I'm explaining it there itself, then itself I want you to learn. So that is why I'm asking you to note down the points. We repeat the points. So try to learn in the class itself, so your burden will be reduced. So later you will not have to spend much time. So try to get involved actively. Do ask doubts. I don't want you to be passive listeners. Get involved. Okay, whenever I ask some question, please respond spontaneously. Don't worry about microphone, unmuting, wastage of energy. I know you all believe in conservation of energy, but during our period, just keep that thought aside. So thank you children. Next period we'll see.